I wanted to give you a very quick overview of the French Revolution. You're going to read more about this in chapter 19. There's a crash course video that goes into more detail than I'm going to give you, but just to kind of give you an overview of what to expect when you're reading this chapter. So remember, we have the Enlightenment, but for this part, the 1789 revolution in France really marks like the second half of Western civilization for this class. And the French Revolution starts in 1789, it's going to end in 1799. But it is this period of radical political and social upheaval in France that's going to profoundly influence global history. It was driven by economic hardship, social inequality, and then the Enlightenment ideas that you learned a little bit about last week. The population in France is divided into three estates. You have the privileged first, which is the clergy, and second, which is the nobility, and then you have the burdened third estate, the commoners. And that would be like you and me, right? And those are the people who bore most of the taxes and had the least political power. France faced a severe financial crisis due to its involvement in wars and royal extravagance, which led to increased taxation and widespread discontent. And what you're going to see is the third estate rising up. And in 1789, the Estates General was convened, but disagreements led the third estate to form the National Assembly, initiating revolutionary change. And the storming of the Bastille symbolized the revolution's outbreak. And you've got the National Assembly abolished feudal privileges and issued the Declaration of Rights of Men and of the Citizen, proclaiming equality and individual rights. You also have King Louis's attempted escape and eventual execution in 1793. That's going to intensify the conflict. And France became a republic, but political instability and external war still persisted. And so with this political instability and this power void, we do have some radical phases. And one of those radicals that we like to focus on is Robespierre. And that kind of accumulates into the Reign of Terror, where thousands were executed as enemies of the revolution. Once he falls, though, that's going to mark the end of that phase. And then we have a more moderate government. The Directory took control, but struggled with corruption and inefficiency. So here we have this power void that's still kind of like spiraling, right? And that's when in 1799, Napoleon Bonaparte's going to seize power in a coup, ending the revolution and beginning what we refer to as the Napoleonic era. And the revolution's legacy includes like the spread of the democratic ideals, the end of absolute monarchy in France, and the rise of modern nationalism and secular governance, which are big things that are going to like really take off. Starts in France and it's going to spread from France to other parts of Europe. So kind of pay attention as you're reading through. You're going to learn a lot, probably hopefully some new things about Napoleon that you didn't know, some things about France and the French Revolution that maybe you didn't know before. But pay close attention to those learning objectives, which are listed very at the top of the page in which this video is on.